Well, it's a takeover on Loving Living Local, but not for the reasons you think this morning, because we brought in the experts to get you better prepared for the economic and housing market changes that could come with a new president. And Randy is back along with special guest, economic expert Tatiana Bailey. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
Wonderful. It's the first time you and I have ever.
Long time ago.
I know, but you know what? You're very, very welcome. Okay. And no, you are very welcome. Randy as well. Obviously, we've spoken earlier on in the show. But Tatiana, I want to start off first of all, okay? You do the wonderful, wonderful work of the Fox 21 Economic Takeover, okay? That we hear wonderfully from yourself. I need to ask, I'm going to go national.
Okay.
Okay, we've got some changes coming up, haven't we?
Yep.
In the next few weeks.
Just a few.
Just a few?
Yeah.
Well, I would say it's one of the biggest elections ever, isn't it?
Yeah.
And
where
are we going economically? I mean, what's the bigger picture really from your perspective?
Well, I mean, there are more than the usual variables, if you will, right? Between the election, the differences in the policies of the two candidates. I mean, it's looking like a really tight race right now. You know, just yesterday I did a presentation and, you know, businesses and consumers are saying there's a lot of election uncertainty and, you know, because of that, they're holding off on buying, sometimes even buying homes, certainly businesses investing and so forth. But really, when you think about it, if it's roughly a 50-50 split, you've got about 50% of the population and the businesses that are going to be happy with the outcome and another 50% that aren't. So I don't know. Year and a half, we're going to see as much change in policy because even if they you know say, okay, we're going to do this with tariffs as an example, or with first-time home buyer, you know, like Harris wants to do, it takes time. Right, for that to sort of trickle through. But the good news on especially the home buying side is that interest rates have started to come down, right? And we had that bigger cut in September, 50 basis points, half of a percentage point, and they're going to continue to come down. I don't think they're going to come down as quickly as people think, though.
Okay.
Right.
Well, let's bring. Oh, do you agree with that, Randy?
I do agree with that. Yeah, I mean, we had the jobs report last week was much better than they thought. Fannie Mae came out and said, yeah, we're going to be at 6% by the end of the year. We're not. Rates actually went up a little bit this last week after that report came out. So I think she's absolutely correct. It's not going to drop as quick as we would like for rates. But,
right, and remember that when jobs reports come in good, you have good economic data, it's kind of ironic, but what ends up happening is that says that the economy is doing pretty well. And for instance, if people are really demanding a lot of workers, upward pressure on wages, and there's pressure on inflation, right? So that's where it all trickles down to interest rates.
Kamala Harris mentioned the $25,000 deposit on first-time home buyers.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a little confusion on that. Is that a tax credit? Is it down payment assistance that you have to repay? Or is it a grant? And can it actually make it all the way through in Washington? I don't know. But the good news is Colorado already has that program. We get a lot of feedback on our socials going, wait a minute, she's not president yet. How are you able to give $25,000 for down payment grant? It's been here. It's been here for years. We offer that. And a lot of people don't know that. They think they have to wait and see if she becomes president to get that down payment grant. We're ready. Let's do it. Let's do it now.
Which is awesome. It's awesome, isn't it?
It is. And actually, Colorado is one of the few states that does that. Most people don't realize we are fortunate in the state of Colorado. And even though, yes, we've become more expensive over the years, on the other hand, we have these types of programs which do not exist in other states.
Very, very interesting. Randy, have you got anything to ask Tatiana?
Well,
I'd love to kind of and build something in. So obviously, you're hanging out all morning. And it's so fascinating to have you both on the show at the same time. So anything you'd like to share?
I've got it.
You
know, and this is one of the biggest questions we get is, should we save for down payment or should we use a grant? And what is the answer to that? Do you have an answer? I'm sure you do.
Well, you know, you mentioned something that we were talking about before the show. You know, it's interesting to me that a lot of young people in their 20s and even early 30s are saying, I'm not going to buy. I mean, come on, it's not realistic. How am I ever going to get 20% down? You know, I've got student loans. The list is long. I've got auto loans and so forth. And it's really unfortunate that is the paradigm right now with younger people, that I'm just going to rent. that perception of unattainability is kind of crowding out the whole thing of, hey, home ownership is the primary mechanism to build wealth, right? So, you know, even if you hold on to a house for only 5 or 6 years, when you turn around and sell that house, you're going to make money. Can you say that when you're renting?
Nope.
No. So any program, whether it's a grant, whether it's a low interest loan, to get you into that first house and get your foot in the door with that wealth accumulation, I think is a good thing.
Let's hold that thought. Okay, let's hold it. Let's talk more about it later on in the show. This is amazing. I love this. Can we do this every week? I love it. Randy and Tatiana will be back for one final chat coming up as well. I'm going to try and get some questions on social media as well. Okay. Maybe we'll throw some live questions in.
Oh, that
sounds
right?
good.
Sure,
we'll be ready.
What the future of the housing market and the economy will hold. We'll also like to thank Colorado First Time Home Buyer for bringing us this segment. Thank you all, always. Thank you so much.